stage where we're aiming at the right clientele and we'll treat them the right way. So only you know this story. I don't know this story because I know my story, and I believe that my story is good. Like if I have a client comes in to see me, they'll get offered a beer or a glass of wine. They get offered a menu, so they get to choose their coffee, anything else from a menu. We also have a menu for magazines, so they can sit there and look at the menu and go, can I have this, this, and this mag, please? And we give them their mag. So everything we do is been changed right the way down, so we can get a little bit going on.
Richard?
Just going to take a breather for 1 second, if that's okay.
Damn it. You can't hear me.
Cool. So I'm not sure whether, can you still hear me, Joanna?
Yes.
Cool. I'm going to get rid of that because I think I saw a sign saying you can't hear me through there. Okay, cool. So what we need to figure out is we need to figure out what's your mission statement. So a mission statement, everyone gets stuck on, they get scared. A mission statement is it's a promise that you say to every single customer that walks through your door, this is what we stand for, and you'll get this service no matter what. So, for example, I'll tell you what my mission statement is. My mission statement is, like what we do, or it's free. Every single staff member I have, regardless of what it is that we believe we can create a hairstyle around your lifestyle. And if for any reason you don't like that hairstyle, you can have a full refund or we'll do it again for free. And I honestly believe that with that, when I'm not in my salon, my staff have the ability to give it away for free. I don't care if it's a $300 bill. They give it away for free. It's like you're happy or it's free. That's my mission statement. I stand by it. I don't want anyone to leave my salon that can't replicate that at home and feel like they had good value. So a mission statement, everyone gets stuck on and gets scared, but you need to create your mission statement, what you stand for. So whatever you think is your core value, whatever you think is the key to what you're about, that should be your salon mission statement. And we are going to create a mission statement in this month. So that's scary for most people, but you must have an idea what you think or your promise to that client is. So I'm going to go with Ruth. Do you have a mission statement or do you have a promise that you do at the moment, Ruth? Are you there? Okay, cool. Now, hey, Tara, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Cool. Do you have a promise at the moment, a mission statement for your salon?
Oh, yeah, it's sorta, kinda. I mean, we have on our website that we consider each client as an individual with his or her own needs and desires, and we strive to fulfill those needs and desires with the best talent available. So just recognizing individuality and catering to individualism.
Okay, and what happens if I came in and had my hair cut and I didn't think it was done by the best person possible?
We offer to do a redo on it, and if you're not happy with the redo, you don't pay anything.
Yeah, but I don't want to redo. The girl made a mess the first time. I'm not going to trust you the second time.
Generally, I ask to see the client or meet with the client to see if there's anything I can do to help fix the scenario.
Yeah, cool. And so your mission statement is almost there. It just needs to be finished off with a couple of things that's through there. Because if you tell me that you say it'll be cut or it'll be executed by you said the best stylist around, is that correct?
Yeah, best talent available, yes.
Cool. So I would want you to stick to that mission statement should be that you do have the best talent around. That also
right, because I try to make it an idea that everybody there is trained under me, so they should be getting exceptional service because I wouldn't let them go on the salon floor if they couldn't replicate what I do. So, cool. Yeah, I would definitely.
Cool. Now, that mission statement that you have, that because you honestly believe that your promise is I have the best stylist in town.
Yes, I mean, yeah, I do believe that.
Okay, cool. That's good because you should believe that. But your mission statement should still be the same. When you start employing people, it should be exactly the same. You know, you come and work at T-Max and you will be the best stylist in town. So that mission statement is used for everything you do. It's not just to get clients. It's what's your core.
Yes.
Yeah.
I actually have had somebody say that they're intimidated to apply. Like, we actually get that feedback. Like, we're intimidated to apply because they don't feel like they think that it's this big facade, and then they come into the interview, and that's generally what the feedback I get before the interview is over. Is like, I was really intimidated to come in and apply, but once I got here, I realized that everybody is super laid back and cool. So, like, I want to make it, be appealing to people and not turn them off, for sure.
Cool, and that's exactly what it should be. They should be intimidated because they must think you're the best. It means when you put an advert, you're not one of these people that say no one applies for my job, because the problem is that if you have this mission statement that we have the best in town, they know when they come to you that you're going to train them to be the best in town. And that's why we need a mission statement. It's going to be on your business plan. It's going to be on everything that you do. It's hard to find, and we'll help you try and get through this. We've got a couple of coaches to help you get through this, but we will actually do that. We're going to try and work through to give you a mission statement yourself. We're also going to get you a value statement. So what happens is what's important to you and what's important to the value of your salon. So they're very, very similar, but you'll end up with a mission, which will underpin everything that you do in the salon, and then you'll have a value and a vision. And that's what's going to drive a culture into your salon to keep your salon strong all the way through to the end. Get all these right, and what happens is you get a team, you get a salon, and then you get lots of clients all talking about you. But not just them. Any other stylist in town that has either been for a job, has been turned down by you, or can't apply because you're so bad, they're going to tell their mum, dad, and all their friends how good you are, or how, apparently to the outside world, how good you are. So we need to do this, and it's very important. So we start right at the beginning. This one's going to be a bit scary, but we'll get there in the end. So branding's for everyone. It's for literally anything to do with your salon or in your salon. And we're going to figure that out this month. Is going to be one of our main things we're going to do. The next big scary thing which we're going to figure out, which everybody gets stuck at, is what is your USP? What makes you different to anyone else? So I'm going to pick on you again, if I can, Joanna. What makes you different to anyone else in the Shire?
Oh, I hate this question.
It's a horrible question. It's nasty.
Look, I think we do amazing haircuts. I don't think we're very good at selling ourselves at all. I know myself, I'm not good at telling people how good I am, so that's what we need help with. So I think we give great haircuts and good service. Okay,
cool. And Tara, what would you say your USP is?
I would say that anyone that comes to our salon knows that I'm there traveling, teaching. I'm bringing students in sometimes to intern and learn in the salon, so they know that we're a training salon, that we're from the ground up. We bring everybody in new, so our clients expect to see that. They're kind of look forward to it, like who's new, on the team, basically who's starting, who's going to be doing our blowout today, because they know that's the first phase of whenever I bring in new people, is they learn the T-Max blowout, and we have the only blowout bar in town. So I think that sounds weird having to say it like that, because I don't want to make it sound like it's about me, but it's just the experience. They know that the experience is going to be like that every time.
Okay, so I haven't let you off the target either, Ruth, but you're going to answer the next one, which will be even harder, I'm afraid. So the difference between a USP is what makes you different from anyone else. And like Joanna was saying, it's such a difficult one because it's very hard to state yourself. Ideally, your USP would be like an elevator speech. It will be something that you can tell someone in about 10 seconds, this is what we're about. So your USP really is, when it comes down to it, what you do, what you stand for, who you aim this at. So, for example, you can only be, because we're selling a service through here, you can only be the cheapest to get clients in or the best to get clients in. There's only two ways you can actually aim to say, come to me. Come to me, we're cheap and we're fast, or come to me, we're really good and highly experienced. Most hairdressers want to go to the latter, and they want to go to the best. So you need to figure out what makes you different to anybody else. So slightly again with that, Tara, you're almost there with, you talked about your training and what you do. What it actually means really is that you still think that your staff are the best in town, which means they can give you the best service in town. That's what you think, is that right?
Yes.
Yeah, so your USP must be based around that idea of what you feel. Because some people, when they look around, like when I opened this salon in my hometown here now on the Central Coast, so Joanna and Ruth will understand this because they're in Australia. There's a lot of salons here that just do get a water spray, damp it down and cut it, and they want to go out and spend about $12. I opened this in a little beachside suburb, and not many people wanted to have a full service done. And I just opened my doors, did my salon out a certain way, and went, I don't do any dry haircuts, and no one's leaving my salon with wet hair. This is what I stand for. And I was a bit scared for the first few weeks because I had so many clients walk in and walk out, and that was it. And also, I don't do colours on the spot. Anyone who comes in for a colour has to have a skin test 24 hours before I touch them. So I don't get walk-in colours either. So it's a bit scary in my world that we do. But the problem is it took me a while, but that's what my core value is. So my USP literally was, you will get a full service that no one else on the coast. You will get, before I touch your hair, you will get a full consultation and a style that's built around your lifestyle. No one else did that. When you come in for a colour, I'll do you a skin analysis, so I'll make sure your colour that is guaranteed to sit on your skin type, because we have wets that we choose that, warm or cool, and what level of high or cool it is. So that was my USP. That set me different from anybody else. And everyone else in my area, the most you ever was charging was $25 for a cut and blow at the time, 10 years ago. And I have my doors at $65. So I set my store out saying, this is who we are and this is what we do. And it worked out very well for me. So you need to know what your USP is, what makes you special. And it's not the haircut or the color, it's that whole experience of what they get when they come to your salon. So we're going to work through that. It's a scary one to do. Like everyone says, it's really hard. Once you've got your USP, by the way, it makes it very easy to know who your target market is, which means for every penny you spend on marketing goes directly to the people you want to hear your message. So you need to know your market, who you are, who you're aiming at, and your unique selling point will say that. So, for example, if you're a high-end person and you want to give people as much love as possible, and you're happy to spend up to an hour with a cut and blow dry and spend a bit more time with a consultation, you're not going to be aiming at 18 and 20-year-olds. They want the purple, funky hair. They definitely do not want anything that's a bit more classy. So you've got to know who you are, and when you set your stall out of say, this is what we do and this is what we're good at, people will come. You just need to find out who your markets are, which is what branding's all about. That's what we're trying to figure out at the moment. So again,
that's what terrifies me.
Say again?
That terrifies me.
It terrifies you?
Yes, because my salon is so diverse. My clientele versus my staff's clientele is so completely different. And it's like, I want to make so many changes, but I'm afraid of running off half the clientele or half the staff in the process. Yeah,
and yeah. So where I talked about most people, and I'm not sure the only people in Australia might have seen this, and I did speak about this earlier on. There was a program on TV that I recorded called Mary Portas, and she is a famous lady in the UK that goes in and turns businesses around. And this was I
love her.
You love her?
Yes.
Did you see, Joanna, that program? It was on a few days ago with that 3 black women that opened up a clothes shop.
No.
No, okay. So I watched it last night, which was awesome, and it was great because it's all about branding. So what she has, there was these 3 ladies that opened up this clothes store, and the main owner, the younger girl, she's so passionate about the clothes that she has. It's funky dance wear. It's half-naked stuff, and the market's going to be 18 to 25. That's all that's going to buy it. So she was pumping and making some money, and then her mum suggested that she starts getting in 40 to 50-year-old clothes to cover that market. Somebody asked them. So now they've got this shop full of funky teenage stuff and old granny stuff on the left-hand side. Now, you would imagine to the outside world, she's covered the whole market, so she's now going to be making twice as much money. What happened in reality was that no one came in. So the old people wouldn't come in, and the young people wouldn't come in. So she actually had to decide who she wanted, and then eventually changed it and chose who she wanted to go with. Her passion was with the young dance, so that's where she went, and then made lots of money. And that was a happy ending to the story. But in general, you can't be all things to everybody. You're going to have to choose. So with you, Tara, you know what makes you tick. You should know what your passion is. And if you're far away from that at the moment, you just need to do slight changes, and just make the majority of your salon. Or, like, for example, my clients are wealthy coffee shop ladies whose husbands go out to work for themselves, and they just go around driving in their BMWs and their Mercedes and pop in and have their hair done every 3 to 4 weeks. I'd like to pay a lot of money for it because they like to show off to their friends, and I'm happy to do that. So it works out well for me, and I like doing that sort of clientele because my work's very classical. But on a Saturday, we get a lot of young people in, so we have a Saturday as a mufti day. It's a day that the staff can wear jeans. It's a mufti music day. The staff get to choose the music on a Saturday. Because most of my clientele come in the week because they don't want to give their Saturdays up because their husbands are home. So you can still have that, Tara, but in a different form.
Well, see, that's kind of what's been happening. So I've been working in my smaller location during the week, and then on Thursday nights, which is a big night here in our town, it's when most people go out instead of like Friday, Saturday. I work Thursday nights and I work Saturdays in our spa location, and that's when I get my purple hair, funky, crazy haircut, all that. So I've been trying to separate my clientele slightly, but it's really scary.
Yeah, it is scary. But as we started the first module, if you actually go with your ethos, what really matters to you, it'll be fine and it'll be okay through there. So I've got a question now. We're on here to Ruth, by the way, because you didn't get off too lightly. Do you have a tagline?
I don't have a set one.
Yeah, okay, cool. Because at the end of these modules, we'll give you a tagline as well. So my tagline is Retreat Hairdressing, because that's the name of my salon. We create hairstyles around your lifestyle. So the tagline needs to be what you do in a sentence.
Okay.
Because they're more likely to remember the tagline than your name. And the tagline should give an idea, because with that, they go, oh, you're the salon that creates the hairstyle around my lifestyle. Yeah, that's us. That's what we do. So that's mine. You can steal it if you want to, but that's what we do anyway. I came up with that one many years ago, and I kept it all the way through. Because that's what I do. My main art is that I ask you enough questions what you do about your hair, and I'll create a hairstyle around that. If you don't want to blow dry it, not a problem. I'll create a haircut that doesn't need blow drying. If you want big body, I'll create a style that has big body. I know how to cut different ways, so I can do that quite easily. Your hair's big and fat, I'll cut the weight out the middle. You want to, get more curls that are irregular, I'll do that. I'll do a curly cut on you. So there's lots of things that I do, and I will create it around them and how much time they want to spend on their hair. That's how I came up with my tagline. And by the end of this month, hopefully you guys will have a USP and a new tagline. So we need to figure out what sets you apart. What makes you different from everyone else is what's going to make you charge more. It's going to also make you get the staff that you want. So we need to figure that out. That'll come with your USP. In the real world, we have better chairs than anyone else. Doesn't seem to work. We're friendlier. We have a good website. They don't really mean a great deal, and they don't cut it really for me. I want to know if I walked into your salon today and walked into a salon down the road, how would I know which one was better? Because a haircut, I wouldn't know. I'm a novice. I don't know if you've cut square layers, round layers, universal layers. I don't know what you've done. I don't even know. All I care about is, in my mind, how will I feel that sets you apart from anyone else? So I don't know how you're going to do that. We're going to go through a few modules and a few lessons this month to see if we can figure that out. But hopefully at the end of it we will. Because like Joanna was saying, it's such a hard one to come up with. It took me years to break through this, and now I can do it very easy. I can walk into a cafe and see exactly what's different. and we'll do that as we go through. Does anyone think they have something that's so uniquely different than anybody else? 805-298-4477. No? No? Cool. Okay. So my main aim to find a difference between you and anybody else is that you all as salon owners, I don't know what your budget is, but as a salon owner, you are going to have to spend some money sometime to get new clients in the door. And if you know who your target market is, and you know exactly where these target market hang out, it means you'll be spending the most smallest amount of money with getting the biggest response back. So, for example, I mean, most of you have Yellow Pages and most of you have a local newspaper. If you put an advert in the local newspaper with no special offers and you just said, hey, come and have your hair done by Tara at T-Max, it'll have probably a reading of about 200,000 people, but you'd be lucky if you got 3 people actually made that phone call to say, I want to book in with Tara from T-Max. The percent is so low. It's a bit like getting a fishing net, go out to the middle of the ocean and just chuck the net in the ocean, pull it in and see if you've got any fish in it. But if you have a radar that takes you to where the fish actually are and threw a small net in there and you'd pull exactly the amount of fish you needed to pull in, you can do it at half the cost. So what we need to figure out is what makes you different, who likes what you have to sell, where do they hang out, and where can we actually advertise where we'll get 100% of that market see it, and that way you'll get your salon or your staff busier than ever. So, cool. Any questions on that one before we move on? This is going good. Awesome. Okay, so in this particular module that we have, it'll get released tomorrow. You'll have, I think there's 3 lessons that are going to be in there. We're going to find your USP, we're going to find your brand, and we're going to actually find your tagline by the end of that. Now, we also have things for your staff to do. Again, we're going to try and get an exercise to get your staff involved almost in every single module that gets released. On this particular, the first one that we get to do, which will be this one, it'll be a mood board. So if any of you guys have ever done photo shoots before, when we used to do photo shoots, we always had to create a mood board, an inspiration board that you use to help inspiration to make you do that photo shoot. We're going to create a mood board, and everything you need will be in this module. It'll be a download sheet. I tell you exactly how to do a mood board meeting with your staff and how to create a mood board. So what we're going to try to figure out, I'm going to put people on the spot just because I'm just hearing my voice talk all the time, and I want to hear you guys talk. So let's start with Joanna again. Hey, Joanna, have you ever done a mood board before?
Yeah, we used to do in-salon competitions every 3 months. We had to do a cut and a colour, and we had to do the mood board to match the cut and colour, and it was all judged by when we were with Joico. It was heaps of fun.
Okay, awesome. That's great. So you know how to do a mood board. A mood board will just be cut things out of magazines that gives you inspiration. So you can choose the colours or you can choose anything else. So one of the questions I have for you, Joanna, because this is one of the questions in there. If your salon, not your haircuts and not your staff, just your salon as a whole, if it was a celebrity, who do you think it would be?
Oh my gosh.
Hard, hey?
Classic and simple.
Yeah. So for me, for example, I always say that if my salon was going to be a movie star, it'd be Jennifer Aniston. That's who it'd be. That's how mine would be. Mine would be Jennifer Aniston. Some people are quirky and some people are not. So let's dive into Tara. If your salon was a car, what car would it be?
Ooh. You say that and I go Maserati because I like Maserati, so I but we're talking about my salon, not me.
Yeah, your salon. If I stood outside your salon and I thought that's a car, what brand would it be? Would it be a Ford? Would it be a Mustang? Would it be a Cadillac? There's lots of cars out there.
I think it would be a Lexus.
A Lexus. Okay, so you're saying if you're telling me your salon is a Lexus, I would say it's classy, slightly high end. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So when we do a mood board, you'll give your staff some magazines to cut out who they think the salon is, what colours they think the salon is. So let's go to Ruth, for example. If I was going to say which was the major colour that your salon would be. So for example, if I said to you, all three of you, what colour associates McDonald's, you're going to go yellow or red, I assume. Yep.
Yep.
Yep, or Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola's red no matter what. They can do, I know they've done green ones and they've done black ones, but you know what? Coca-Cola's always going to be red to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just a trivial thing. Did you know that Santa Claus was green? Just so you know. Did you know that? Just so if you ever dig deep, Santa Claus had a green tunic all his life until Coca-Cola took over. And in the 1940s, Coca-Cola made them wear red. That's a fact, by the way. Yeah, we always think Santa was always wearing red and white, but Santa was green and white. Anyway, let's get back on topic. Sorry. So let's just say, Ruth, what colour would you say your salon is?
Maybe black and white.
Black and white. Okay, cool. So when we did my mood board, we worked out, because I love black and white. My signs were all black and white because I just love black and white. When we did our mood board, we figured out with all our staff that we were cream and brown. That's what we figured out. Because what we figured out through there is we went through, with a mood board, we actually think through the eyes of our clients, not through the eyes of us. So we try and figure out what clients we have, how would they perceive us as a car. Because, like, for example, we know what you're perceiving is of your salon, but we try and think of all the clients that walk through. What cars do they drive, the majority of your clients? Because the problem is that Tara thinks she's got a Lexus salon there, but if she literally has 50% of people that go and have her hair done and they drive Fords, her salon's a Ford no matter what she thinks.
Right.
Does that make sense? Because
absolutely.
Yeah, if they're all Lexuses, you would have an high-end salon. So that's what we're trying to figure out. So when we do a mood board, we now know what your feeling is. We know to see it through the eyes of the client. So what wardrobe do most of your people wear that come in? What colors appeal to them? And if you know enough about your clients, what color cars do they drive? And everyone gets appealed to the same thing. So when we go through this mood board with your staff, that's what we're going to work through. It's about get done in about an hour of your time. So if you have meetings, stick it in a meeting. Let's have some fun with it and then move on. I do want you to take some pictures and download them to me if you can do that. Okay. Yeah. Okay, cool. Our next section we have is what sets you apart of your USP is how good is your experience. So, for example, if you come and have your hair cut with me, you're guaranteed to have a 5-minute chat. We fill a questionnaire in of everything you do about your hair, what problems you have with your hair. Also, I'm collecting information for a different reason. And then with the wash, no matter what, you'll get a 5-minute shampoo and condition and a 5-minute massage. Not 4, not 4.5, 5 minutes to the dot. Right? My staff are timed. So everyone gets that regardless. And then when they come over and get the haircut done, and then the blow dry, everyone gets shown a product. Everyone gets shown how to look after it at home. We go through systems as they leave. So almost every experience of that client journey as they come in and then go back out, there's about 32 little checkpoints in there. Is perfection every single time. I don't care who you are. I don't care if it's Saturday afternoon and we're under the pump. You will get that experience in my salon regardless, because that's what I believe people need. So for example, Tara, using you again, if you owned a restaurant and I came to you and you were the best cook in your town, which I'm sure you are anyway, and you did me a chicken salad and I got loads of chicken and I loved it. I told all my friends and I came back in 3 weeks and you gave me less chicken. And then next time you came back and gave me more chicken. And the next time you came back and gave me a little bit of chicken. I'm actually going to stop coming because you're too inconsistent for me. So
yeah,
we
actually just had that conversation last 2 weeks ago with the local coffee shop down the street from my house. I love them; they're the best, absolutely the best. But they've been so inconsistent here recently. I haven't went back.
Yeah, it's regardless. How good you guys are is irrelevant. It's what I'm trying to do with the OXO effect. It's one of the things you need to learn about OXO. Is it doesn't matter how good your haircuts are. It doesn't matter how good you are. It has to be consistent. So, like McDonald's, they're probably the biggest replica of a system in the world today, and they sell crap food. But you know what? It's irrelevant because, you know, if I go on holiday in this country, I've got more chance I'm going to pop into Macca's to get my coffee on the go because the guy down the road, I just don't know what mood he's in. I don't know if I'm going to get a good coffee or a bad coffee. At least if I go to Macca's, it's generally crap all the time, but I know it's going to be crap, and I feel good that I know what I'm going to get for my money. So it's funny. So you don't have to be good, by the way. You just have to be consistent. Whatever you do has to be the same every single time, and you have to learn to replicate it. So what we've got you to do, and you can do this beautiful, Tara, you can, because this is aimed at you, is that we've got you a checkpoint with about 20 questions on, and we want you to give them to your staff, and in paid time, so if you have to close the salon for 1 hour, that's what you have to do, and send the girls, or boys, in pairs, off to a coffee shop or a restaurant, and then marker the experience down. So they need to stand outside, look at the sign, look how the people are dressed, how was the experience, how was the coffee, you know, how was the tables, were they cleaned, go onto the website, give them a phone call. All the questions are in there, and I want you to sort of take a look how your staff are going to look at someone else's business to see if the branding, what story that cafe or restaurant is saying. By the way, you can choose beauty or hair if you really want to. You don't have to choose a cafe. I just think cafe is just easy because you can get it in an hour. And then what they need to do is just look at it as a brand. Is that story the same? And then they come back after that, and you can do it another week. The exact same questions, your staff do it to you. They'll go on your website. They'll go and make a phone call. Do you answer your phone call a certain way? How do you dress? It's trying to get them to actually see what this branding thing is all about. Yeah.
I'm really, really excited about that because I actually, on our last 2 meetings, really sat down and talked to them about branding. In the class that I just was teaching in New Orleans, I talked a lot about branding. So, like, it's really, like, it's cool that everything that's going on with you and this group is kind of already on cue to, like, what's going on in my life, even though I haven't been, like, actively 100% participating.
See, the problem for us as salon owners is the fact that we only have 100% to give, and the client will get about 80% of that, and you're left with about 20, and the staff will suck you dry of everything else that you've possibly got. It's just what they do, and there's not a lot you can do about that. They're just going to suck you dry. So the more things that you have in place that is automatic, that you don't have to think about, because that's what we'll set up in your salon. We'll set up a salon standard and benchmarks, and I think most of you, online now, I don't know about you, but most of you are mums, and I'm sure you have boundaries for your children, and all we do is we set boundaries in your salon, but not for your staff. These boundaries are for you to say, this is what I stand for, and if you deviate from this, I have to act on that. So I have a big softie, but if you hear my staff will, I know for a fact, only say positive things about me because generally I am a nice guy. I'm a yes man. I never say no to my staff for anything as long as it doesn't affect the badness of my salon. If my staff want 2 weeks off or 5 weeks off or 8 weeks off, I'll give it them without fail. I won't even question it because I think you should give your staff every single thing they can possibly want as long as it doesn't affect how the salon is run. So,
oh, good. So I'm not a smuck for saying yes all the time.
I'm sorry?
I said, so I'm not a smuck for saying yes all the time. I always tell them they're spoiled because I let them work when they want to work. I just say, don't whine to me whenever you don't have money if you want to take a 5-day vacation.
Yeah, cool. But what you need to see, I don't think you're a smuck for doing that. I think the difference is you need to have a standard in place that you won't deviate from. So if you believe you can't run your salon under 5 seniors, you say yes every single time until you get below 5 seniors. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and that's the given is as long as you're not putting another stylist in the building alone by themselves, or you can find somebody to make sure that don't happen, it's a yes.
Of course. I mean, that's really good. So you just need to have enough systems and enough boundaries in place. So, and also when the staff know the boundaries, like with me, when I first employ someone, I take a whole day off. So if I employ a new staff member, I don't do any clients that day. I take a whole day off to show them the ropes, to show them how important they are to me, and I explain everything to them that I expect them to do for they work for me. And as long as they don't ever deviate from that, then me and them will have words. I have staff that I've never ever had a chat with in the back room ever about anything, and I have some staff that we talk in the back room every week, the same staff. But they know when I set my guidelines, if I call them in the back room, because by the way, I do everything in the back room. So if I think someone's done something to annoy me, I never tell them off in the salon. It's always, hey, can we have a quick chat in the back room, nip it in the bud, and then it's done, and then we move on. But because I set my boundaries up with them on day one, they know that if they fall below the boundaries, they're going to have a chat. It's not 9 out of 10 times, most salon owners tend to react to situations and then it flares up into a big bitch fight and a big argument. So for me, I go, this is what I expect from you. This is what I expect from my salon. And as long as you stay above the line, we'll never have a chat. If you fall below the line, we have a chat. And it also means then when I talk to them, I explain to them if they're not doing rebooks as they should, I got an open mind quite easily to say, my benchmark for my salon is 65%. You're falling below the salon standard. How can we do that? And we'll work a plan out to get them back up. 9 out of 10 times there's always something going on in the background for that reason. So through that. So what we're going to try and do is we're going to do the mood board for this month. We've got a few little questions in there to find your USP, your tagline. And then also we have got the visit a cafe, a beauty. If you really want to, you can do another hairdresser's. I don't think you guys in America have heard of this person, but there's a salon in Melbourne, and this lady, she's a loyal lady, and I think she's won Hairdresser of the Year. She's just picked her an award up. Anyway, cut a long story short, I paid for my girls to fly in to Melbourne for overnight, and we booked in her salon, and we booked all my girls to have a blow dry in her salon. She is the best of the best, and it cost me a small fortune to send them there. And I just thought my staff would be blown away with how great she was. And she was there. She did one of the girls' hair. So 3 of my girls had curly blow dries, and they went back to the hotel and redid their blow dries because it was that bad. And we paid $175 for a blow dry. $175 for a blow dry. It's the dearest I've ever paid for a hair in my life. But which was times 4 staff that I sent over to Melbourne. It cost me a fair bit. So you can do a hair if you want to, but it made my girls feel that they're as good as the best of the best. Their blow dries wasn't cop. It was rubbish. The service was actually pretty poor because in this particular salon, they had all had chips on their shoulders. They're just talking about how they're going to go out and get drunk tonight and how the boss is awful, and it just went on and on and on. So it made my girls realize that some of my systems in place are there for a reason, because as a client, you get to see that. But there's a good learning curve for my staff, and it was a bit of a thank you for them. We had a big year. We had targets set, and I said to them, I'd pay for 2 staff members to fly to London to go on a big course, and they chose not to go to London because they didn't want to give the time up from the salon and decided to do Melbourne instead. So which is a bit crazy. I would have chose London myself, but there you go. But that's what I expect from you guys once we set targets, is to reward your staff well. And the bigger the target, the bigger the reward. I would love, Tara, for you to send a couple of staff to London to a big show, and it's going to hit you with $5,000 or $10,000. But you know what? If your staff made your target, wouldn't it be good to do that?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I would be extremely jealous because I want to do it myself so bad. But yeah, I mean, absolutely.
It's very achievable. It's just amazing when you stay focused. With me, for example, what I decided to do was this was last year, and we ended this year for our target. So what we did last year is we sat there and said we want a 20% increase. So for me, my turnover would have been over 560,000, I think we aimed for, and we beat that in a year. So the target was, if we hit that, every time you hit your weekly target, we put a coin, and everyone had different colored coins from a toy shop, and they put them in a jar. So that's what we did. So for example, if I set someone's target at 3,500 a week, which is what some of the targets were, every time they hit a target for 3.5, they put one of their blue coins in a jar. And if Tamara hit her target, she'd put a yellow one in. Because they all have different targets. Even my first year had targets, so her target was only 1,000. So every time she hit her target, she put like a red coin in. So at the end, this big box was full of all different coins. We give it a big, massive shake-up, and then we pulled 2 out, and that's who we're going to send to London. So everybody gets the shot. It's not all on how much you take. So that's what we did, and we did that for a year. And that made the salon, because the staff were focused, because we had 2 trips to London to go to. The reason they opted out, they actually decided they wanted everyone to get a piece of the pie, not just 2. So they said, look, if we go to Melbourne, will you pay for us all to go to Melbourne? And I went, yep, I can do that. The money was put by anyway. I'd put the money by to spend on 2 of them. So we decided to treat every single staff member, except for me. I didn't go. I stayed behind. So there you go.
Did you actually show all the girls who had the most colour coins in there?
Did I say again?
Did you actually take all the coins out and show the staff members who had put the most colour coins in there?
No, not at all. No, because it was a see-through pot. Everyone could see what coins were in there.
Right.
Yeah, the whole point of the exercise was that even if you hit your target just once in the whole year, you still had a shot.
Yep.
You know, the people who hit it more had more of a shot to hit it.
Yep, sure.
Every single person, you hit it once, you're in. I don't care who you are. Someone's got 50 to hit it every week, someone's got 1. You've still got the chance of being pulled out. The minute they realise that they haven't got the chance, if it only goes to the one with the most, the others will give up.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, it's a bit like when I used to do boot camp when I was doing a bit of a fitness regime many years ago. The guy was very clever. He'd let me and someone else, because we were always the worst, run for a few minutes before everyone else, so we almost all finished at the same time. But if he let us go all together, once you're behind, you'll never get ahead.
Yep.
So it's a bit like I have now 5 staff, and they're all on 5 different targets, every single one of them. They're all on their own journey, because they're not all on the same wage either, by the way. They're all on 5 different wages.
Yeah.
So how I tend to work is once you hit your targets regular, your average wage will go up and it will stay up, and then you set a new target, and that's how it tends to go. It gets complicated, and I've got all my targets written down, and we will do targets as we go along, by the way. And I think for you guys, so for Tara and Lisa, I know over where you are it's different, because you mostly run rent-a-chair salons. You very rarely find wage salons over in America. So I get that. But we've got Nina, who's a coach with us, and I'd say she is an awesome coach, and she's ran multi-million-dollar businesses in the US, so she knows a lot, and you should try and pick her brains as much as you possibly can.
Yeah, I'm really excited to talk to her about that too, because I'm really concerned about how things are going here with the whole booth rental market and the commission market, and how hard it is to keep staff from getting to a certain level and then jumping ship to just go booth rent. It's really hard to keep experienced, staff. That's why I've motioned more into bringing in straight out of school students and training them to try to build loyalty with them, because I find it's really hard to find anybody that's out on their own that want to be in a commission-based salon.
Yeah, so what's been happening over in America for the last 10 years, and I'm afraid it is the Americans' fault, is what they've decided to do was they won't, like, for normal people, so like for Ruth and Joanna, you feel pain sometimes. I know I felt pain at one time when I opened my salon, is that when we open up a salon in the UK and in Australia, you open up your salon and you have to take on staff, and you know what, if you don't have enough money, sometimes you go without and the staff get the money instead. Now, in America, they decided they didn't want to take that risk, so they just do rent-a-chair, or even worse, they just do, booth renting, which is the rent-a-chair, or they just do a sort of flat commission, 50%, or even worse if you go over the 50% mark. So they didn't want to pay out a wage. So if the person didn't earn any money, it didn't cost them anything. So for 10 years, the Americans have tried to have it like their cake and eat it, if that's the sort of scenario I'm trying to think of, Tara, where, and then everybody since then, you've got to this really, and it's going to hit a crescendo in the next couple of years, is that the fact that you've got to is every single person you bred them to look after themselves, and if you earn more money, you get more money. So the salon owner 10 years ago are teaching all the workers to be greedy.
Yeah.
And that's all they know. Like, that they just know that, because I mean, really, if you're going to go for a mortgage in America, wouldn't it be good to walk into a bank and say, I have a wage, I'm guaranteed $2,000 a week, can I have a mortgage? They would love that.
Yeah, and that's not the case.
No, because you bred them so much to just to think about themselves. So what they do is and I do the same. I would definitely be on commission, so I get some money, which means I think I'm not quite sure which state you're in, but I think you get a minimum of $10 an hour until you hit a certain amount, and then you go on commission, and then when you've got a clientele, you walk away and go booth renting, and it's quids in, you're making loads of money.
Mm-hmm.
And that's happening in every state all the way around that actually allow booth renting. I'm not sure if California don't allow it. I'm not quite sure. But
There's
I do
a couple
know.
of states that don't allow it.
Yeah, it's really dreadful. And there's lots of coaches out there, as you know, like Strategies and everyone else. They know it's wrong for the industry, because what you've got now is if you look at the next. I mean, you can all answer this in your own mind. If you look at your salons and look at the salons near you, you're going to have some salons that are going to be charging that 20-30% cheaper. I don't know how they can even stay in business. So
They're not. That's the thing, is that salons have, in the 8 years that I've had the first location, the same salon owners have opened up and shut down 3 or 4 times in the 8 years, because they'll shut down, they'll go booth rent for somebody, realize they're not able to booth rent inside someone else's salon because they don't like the aspect of being an owner inside another owner's salon, even though it's the booth rental situation. So they go rent a small little location, like a 1 or 2 chair little location too, and they're opening and closing all over the place, and I don't know, like not paying rent for 4, 5, 6 months before they get kicked out. And I feel like I'm over here like struggling sometimes, but I mean, my debts are paid. I'm good to go. I'm not going out of business. I'm growing.
yeah, I think it's strange how wherever you are in the world, everyone has the same issues, and you just need to decide on what your standard is in life, which is what the first module was all about. What you're accepted to accept, if that makes sense. And what happens over in America now is the fact that you're because of normal what we do as human beings, we believe that if we go cheaper, we'll get more people. So you're using the same mentality that if you give a bigger percentage away to a senior, you're going to get a better senior. And that's what everyone's doing. So now, believe it or not, I don't even know who dreamt this up, but now you're going to 55 and 60% you're giving away. Well, I'm a numbers dude because that's the way I am. No matter who you are or what salon you have, you'll be spending between 10 and 15% total of your stock. I don't care who you are, what salon you own. If you're really bad, you'll be up to 20%. But 15% is about the average, and it'll take you about 20% to cover all your bills, and it'll definitely cost you a minimum of 10% of your takings to pay your rent. Now, that gives you about 45%. No matter where you are in the world, the figures are exactly the same. Now, if you've got your staff bill at 50%, if that's what they're taking, you've only got left 5% for you. And I have not put into account GST, VAT, or any other tax that you want to stick on. So like I know, Joanna, you have GST where you are. That's 10%, so that's going to take you to 105% flat back. So you've got to be really careful with your wage bill. Your wage bill is where your money gets eaten, and your stock. They're the 2 biggest ones that you have control over, and then the 2 biggest ones where all your money is either yours or it belongs to somebody else. That's where your time should be concentrated, I believe. I mean, for your stock, I run at 9%. That's what I've always ran at for the last 10 years. I don't go over 9%. Never have done, and I never will, because then I have an extra 6% to pay myself a wage with. And my wage bill, believe it or not, is only 27%. I'm really, which is quite amazing when you think about that, Tara. Imagine offering someone 27%. Hey.
That's insane. Like I'm still just like in wow over the fact you just said 27. So
Yeah. Well, why would I not? So for example, my stylist, I paid my stylist commission last week. So my stylist got a commission of $460. That was commission just for 1 week, and that was on top of her wage of $780. So that's what she got paid last week.
That's unreal.
Yeah,
Pretty huge, hey. But that still keeps my bill at 27%. My staff know that they have to. I mean, the more they make, I make more, so the 27% remains the same. It doesn't change. I'm quite happy with that, but that's because I'm a bit anal when it comes to figures. If you have more juniors, so if you do have juniors, I have one junior at the moment. I have one junior and one free junior, and that's a different matter altogether. But in general, if you have apprentices or juniors, your wage bill can creep up to about 35, but never over 35%. Do you know your wage percentage, Joanna?
Do you know what? I don't. And I'd like to figure that out. It's probably on the sheet, but I've never really looked at it.
How many seniors you got?
4.
Are they all mostly full-time?
Yep.
Oh, really?
1 part-time.
Okay, cool. So your wage bill would be around the 2,800.
Yep.
I would imagine.
Yep.
So for you to do a nice percentage of what you're taking. So for example, if I work out a figure, if you take 10,000 a week in your salon, your wage bill will be about 5,000. Yeah, 50%. Yep. And of course, if you want to be 30%, it'll only be 3,000. So it means if you want to be at 30%, you should be doing 10,000 at the moment with the amount of staff you've got.
Yep.
And that's where you should be. So indirectly, if you get close to 9,000, that would be a good percentage for you. So you need to pay 9,000 week in, week out. And if you do, you'd be very, very happy, I imagine.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's where you're falling short. Your staff probably aren't pulling their weight. And I imagine in here, I know, because I know a full-timer, if you pay someone 700, for me, I'd set their target at 2.5 a week.
Yeah, their target's are 2.4.
And do they hit it?
One girl probably maybe might do it twice every month. The others, no.
Okay. Yeah. So your way when you do targets is you need to figure out how you can get them to hit it. So you've either got 2 ways to make them hit that. You've got a nice way and you've got a nasty way.
Yep.
Nasty way is you sack 1 staff member tomorrow.
Yep.
And then you definitely make sure they all hit it, because I'm sure you've got the clients.
We do. What? Yeah. It's funny you say that. We've just sponsored a girl from England, and they've been here 12 weeks, and they've decided they don't like it, and they're going home. So now I will have 4, not 5.
Yeah, cool. Okay. So you had 5 before that. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. This is the girl that Lee knows. Hey.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah. Yeah. So if you imagine only having 3 staff, you would be absolutely chock-a-block.
And that's what we were when I was there before maternity leave, and we always have been like that.
So you'll have 4 staff plus you. So you've almost got 4 full-timers if you count you and this other part-timer.
Yep.
Yeah. So the nice way of you hitting target is you need to bring their targets down to the level you know they can hit it.
Yep.
So if you know that someone only does 2,000 every week, you need to set their target at 2,000.
Yep.
But you don't give them as much percentage. So what I tend to do is I set my target at 2.5, and for everything above 2.5 that they take, I give them a bonus of 30% of whatever they touch. Retail, services, I don't care what it is. Every penny you get in my till over 2.5, I'm going to give you 30% off, 1/3. Yeah.
That's generous.
Yeah, well, it's a big enough for them to make a difference for them to hit it. So what I do is if you don't hit your 2.5, I only give you 25% bonus. So the girls know they don't get a bigger bonus. So if I set my target at 2, they get 25% of that. If they hit it 3 times in a row, then I'll up it to 2,100. And then when they hit that 3 times in a row, I hit it to 2,200 until we get to the magical 2.5. And that's why I put my juniors on so they don't touch any clients, but I put them on such a small target. So I might put them on $400 or 3 treatments. 3 treatments a week, and then I'll start giving you a percentage, because you've got to start them thinking when they start working the first day of the week, how am I going to hit more money? Because everyone wants more money, but the minute they feel they can't hit it, they'll stop and they won't make an effort.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's really helpful.
Lisa, one second, I've got you, Lisa. I've got you here. We will sort that through. That's not an issue. Sorry, Joanna, carry on.
Yeah,
No, that's really helpful. That's good.
Yeah, so we will cover targets, but your targets need to be set on your big picture. So when we move on to the modules, I'm not sure if it's our next module actually is module 3. We're going to talk about your big picture. So like Lisa and Tara and you, we're going to ask you how much you take now and how much you want to take. And then we're going to try and get you to your dream takings per year. Now, Tara, for example, I don't know too much about your business, but just by looking from an outside world, you should be turning over $1 million a year.
And I'm not anywhere close. Right now, I think we're on target for right shy of 300.
Wow. Okay, cool. I think the problem sometimes we have in the world, and I get shocked, I'm really sorry if I said wow out loud there, I'm really sorry.
Oh, no. Like, that's why I was listening to your numbers, and I'm like, I'm struggling to get my stylist to hit $1,000 a week. Like, some of my stylists are lucky if they bring, like, if they even service $400 a week. They might only do 1 or 2 clients a week whenever they first start out.
Yeah, I think that's the thing as well, especially around the world, and it goes with everybody, is all we sell, and you've got to remember what we sell. Like, Tara, no matter how much good you think you are, you're not selling a good haircut to me. You're just not. Yeah. And the same with Lisa. You're going to be very new to this when you get your salon. You literally, you're the easiest one to see this, actually, Lisa, believe it or not. But what you're actually selling is just your time. And you've got to get that. You've got to remember that all you're selling to a client is time and nothing else. Yeah.
Yeah,
so
that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. So, for example, Tara, let's work for you. For example, if you do 60 hours, that is your working week, and let's just say you want to do 60 hours and you're happy working like a dog. That's fine. So 60 hours, and you've got to work out your maximum you can earn is whatever your average client bill is. Time your 60 hours. That's it. You're full.
Right.
Yep. So when you have you've got, let's say, your employee 1. So this is Tara. You've only got 60 hours to sell. Okay. So let's say you have another senior, and we'll call her Mary. You now have another 40 hours to sell. And if you have another staff member, we'll call her Tia. She has 40 hours to sell. So the more staff that you get, the more hours that you can actually physically sell in the salon. Now, the key to earning more money is make sure that time is scarce. So if you're more than 90% booked out solid, your time is a commodity. It's a bit like, I don't know what country you're in, but I'm sure in Australia, fuel seems to go up every single week. It goes up week because it gets scarce. And when there's a flood of it, it comes down. Same as buying steak or meat or whatever it may be. We live in a world that when things become scarce, you've got to pay more for it. So now, if you, Tara, were as good as you tell me you are, and I think I've seen some of your work, you're not bad, by the way. If you're
I have
scarce,
now where I'm getting those clients that are like not coming to me anymore because I'm too scarce. It's like, oh, well, it's too hard to get an appointment with you, so.
Yeah. So do you charge more?
That's what my question for you was. I'm at a point where I'm ready to raise my prices and my manager's prices for all the training that we've went through in the past year. And it's a hard thing. Like, I've had so many different coaches in various ways tell me different ways of how to do it. And so I just wanted your input. I've been told never go more than $5 on each service increase or you'll run people away. I've been told to, post notices that you're going to change your prices. I've been told not to post them. So there's so many different things. But the major thing is I have to charge more for my time because my time is getting so scarce in the salon. And I'm the only one making any money there. And I'd rather push off some more people to my staff.
Cool. Yeah, you've half nailed it there. And I've got a book here, an old book, and I must try and find out. I've got a scenario for you, and it's in my book. And if you put your prices up by 20%, it lets you know exactly how many clients you can lose to still take exactly the same money. Just so you all know, your prices need to go up CPI every year. Do you know what CPI is?
No.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm not sure. I think in this country it's about 2%, and I'm not sure in the States it's about 1.5 at the moment. So whatever the inflation rate is, you have to put it up every single year without fail what inflation is. Otherwise, you're working backwards.
And nobody in this town has raised their prices in forever. I mean, it's so ridiculous.
But yeah, every coach has a different feeling. I do it by ease. I mean, I know Paul Mitchell have a scenario how they work. But what I do know, and I think Michael Levine has the same feeling on this as me because I've seen him notice it a few times, is that when there's a scarcity, you can afford to put your prices up. I don't care, Tara, how good you are. I don't care what courses you've been on. It means nothing to me. What means a lot to me is I love the way you do my hair, and I want an appointment with you, and you are full. So how do I get in with you?
Yeah.
So you need to lose clients. You need to put your prices up. So the ones who are can't afford you will drop down to your other staff members, and you then make a few gaps, and then you can do that. Now, there's two ways of doing that. You can do it be super soft, or you can just go for it. I like to go for it because I'm that type of guy. I would advise you to go soft because I don't want you to phone me up and say you've lost your house. But you have two ways.
Yeah, and that's the thing is, like, I've been so nice to, when I've increased, the last time I increased, I did the $5 on all service increase, but I grandfathered in any of my clients that pre-booked with me throughout the year. So I still have a couple of older ladies that are very older ladies on fixed income, but I mean, they're at that original price. But I'd feel bad to boot them just because they've been with me since I began. I really enjoy their company.
But you have to think, we're not a charity. Like, we're not doing this for fun.
Right.
I think, Tara, you've almost nailed it through there. Yes, you need to have a percentage increase that you have to have per year regardless. Do you know what your average bill is per client?
Our average is $68.
Okay, so if we say around the $70 mark, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you need to put that up by a percentage every year for every single client that you touch, regardless of who they are. So you can put it by 2%. It might only be 50 cents, but you've got to do it every year without fail. And then if you want to make room, you have to have two things in place. One, you have to have people that love you, which means you need to be at least, 70 to 75% booked in the computer who want you, and at least 80 to 90% request only want you. Then you can put your price up by $5 or $10 or even $50 if you want to.
Yeah, in the past I'd always went on that they had to be booked out 6 weeks in advance and not just like scarce the rest of the time, of course, but they had to be booked out for 6 weeks, not able to fit clients in before we talked about increasing prices.
Yeah, and ideally a good way to do it is to just put the price up on the new clients, and as the old ones drop off, you get rid of them. But you still have to, the old ones, you still got to put the price up by your CPI, whatever your inflation rate is every year. Because I know for a fact your utilities have put their price up since this time last year.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And that's just the way it has to be. And you should have, like I say, you've got your manager on there as well. There should be a tier system for them. I just think that you need to have this tier system, one, so your staff can earn more money, because that's the way they're going to stay with you, by you paying them more. But that's a different matter to get on with. But that's the only way. You've got to remember you're only selling time, and when you're full, the only way for you to make more money, because you can only upsell them so much. Once you're full, you're full. Then you've got to put your prices up and be confident with it as well. You said to me only, early on today that you're the best in town. You've trained the best.
I know that my heart gets the best of me. Like I said, it's like some of the people I still go to some of the local nursing homes and meet with some people and color their hair at their house, at the nursing home, just because I love them so much that I want to go do it. So I go take care of them.
That's true. But it's just the way we tend to be. I was very similar to you. I remember sometimes, maybe not this recession, the one before, so about 6 years ago, I didn't put my prices up 1 year, and it really hurt me because I was starting to go backwards. Because of course everything else goes up. Every year over here the wage goes up. It's just gone up again in July. It costs more money to employ people. Someone has to pay for that. So it's either going to come out of your profit at the end of the year, which is your wage. You got to think about the fact that it's coming out of your kids' mouths, because that's the way I see it.
Right.
It's coming out of your home.
Well, last September when I opened the second location is when I made the price increase, and that was the first time in 8 years since I opened my other salon.
Yeah, you should be ashamed of
And
it.
so I will make it a thing that this September we will really reevaluate.
Yeah, and even if you don't want to be too scary, even if you put it up by $1 or $2, over the year it's enough to cover an increase of what your bills are. But it should be bills and some. You should have a bit of extra money in there. I mean, your figures are completely wrong, because do you employ 11 staff?
Yes.
Yeah, so you have 11 staff, and you say you only get a $300,000 in both salons. Is that correct?
Do I now? I missed that.
Sorry?
You cut out. I missed what you said.
Yeah, I think I'm wandering around as I'm talking. I really shouldn't do that, but I do have a tendency to get a bit too passionate and I'm walking around. So you're saying around the 200,000? Is that both your salons' takings?
Yes, that's both of them. Now that's with last year. The other one was only open since September, so it was only 4 months for that other location.
Yeah, and an idea is for us, like I've said to a few people before, is that I work in meters. I'm not so sure if you have 3 feet to a meter, but you should work out what your capability of your salon is. So if you have a 100 square meter salon, that's $1 million taking salon. So that's like a 300 square foot salon. You should be able to take $1 million in there pretty easy. It's big enough to do that. That's how we work it out.
Richard, I have to go now. Is that okay?
Yeah, no worries. You go. No problem, Joanna.
Thank you.
No worries. Talk soon.
Bye.
Bye now. Cool. I could talk for hours, but maybe we should wrap it up, shouldn't we?
I know. I can get off on one too.
I've got a zillion things that I need to do today. That my problem is I get too passionate with what it is, and I look at like you, for example, and I just think you have like I know by talking to you how much passion you have. I know how good you are. And I can't wait for the stage when we actually get to dive into your figures and find out where your holes are, because there's definitely holes somewhere. Someone's not pulling their weight, and you're just not seeing it.
Oh yeah, like it hurts my feelings sometimes to look at and know sometimes like how hard I'm working to just make ends meet, and when I run a contest and I push retail and we get the retail up, and then there's no contest the next month and the retail goes back down. Like I see where it's my fault, and that I can definitely create or make a disadvantage for myself.
Yeah, for sure. I think that you're definitely in that situation where I believe, looking at you, you have 11 staff, right? And you should be paying yourself at least $150,000 a year, easy. There should be at least 15% profit in there for you. It's missing out on an awful lot. Cause
I've never written myself a check, not a day, and that's another thing that I want to change with this whole changing me and my business venture I'm on right now is getting the businesses out of sole proprietorships and separating myself from them.
Yeah, I think somewhere along the line you need to look, because what I would do, I'd be quite harsh, but it's easy for me to say that from the outside world. By the way, I don't live your world. But what I would do is sit there and work out, if I'm working 60 hours a week, how much do I want to get paid for that? Well, I'm sure you pay your staff. They must get paid close to $1,000 for working 40 hours.
They are like I said, some of the staff, because of the commission, some of them barely get $200 a week because they're maybe take 1 or 2 clients, and then some of them take home around $700 a week.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, because you're saying that if we work out, just so you say your average bill is about 78. Yeah. And you should be doing, your staff, no matter what, should be doing about 26 clients a week.
Yeah, and they're nowhere close to 26 clients.
So you've got too many staff for how many clients you've got, or not enough clients for the amount of staff you've got. Both is exactly the same. So really you should be looking at 2,000 per stylist you should be earning. So if you just times that even just by 10, that's 20,000, which is $1 million, which is where you should be. Jeez,
right.
You're way short on 300,000.
Right. Yeah, that other salon was running about $19,000 a month at the spa location, and it's like I said, it's not very. There's no way that the girls are seeing 26 clients a week.
That's sort of 5 a day. It's especially because you haven't got a very high client bill. It's not like every single one of them's a color and a cut at 78.
No. The lowest end ticket is about $19.
Wow. Yeah. Well, you're sitting on a little gold mine. You just need to know how to access that money.
Yeah, and the more that I've dug in and realized, like, my smaller location has always made me the most money.
Yeah.
But it's because of the intimate detail and time I had to spend with it. So it's been a big learning curve. I think I figured out a few things as far as if I could do it all over again, I would have the salon in between the smallest and the biggest one that I do have now. I would kind of go middle of the road. I just feel like it works better that way for me personally, managing the staff and the clientele that come into the salon. But
so you're managers at the new place, is that correct?
Yes, the manager's at the large location.
Yeah. But even, how many staff do you have at your small team, Max?
The small one has one girl that's there just 1 day a week to help on what we call Man Crush Monday. Yeah. And then there's 2 permanent full-time people, and then there's me and my husband. So there's technically 4 of us.
I'll count you and your husband as 1. How's that?
Yeah.
We'll see how we go. But even with that, you should be doing at least 6,000 a week there, and that should get you to at least 300,000. That's one salon alone.
Right.
Because you should be doing 2,000, and your 2 full-timers should be doing 2,000. That should be 6,000 minimum.
And they do. They do about probably. Oh gosh, why am I going mind blank? Their paychecks were around $350 after taxes, so they were doing around $600-700
a week.
Yeah.
Wow.
And that's only on a good week for them. But we're talking.
Well, what do your staff do all week?
The summertime right now, they might. Mondays are busy. They were busy today. Everybody might have had 6 or 7 clients.
Yeah.
At one location today. The spa location, longer color services, longer time spans. They might have seen 3 people each.
That's cool.
But It's summer. Nobody's here right now. They're all at the beach houses. We'll get probably double as busy as we are right now within the next 2 weeks when everybody comes back to town and school goes back in session.
Yeah, I get that. We have quiet weeks and busy weeks, but in general, your target should be set. Your minimum they should be earning is 2,000. On a good week, it should be 2.5. On a bad week, it may be 1.5. But 2,000 is what they should be setting at. You should be.
So how do I fix that if because I feel like they do a very good job of trying to promote themselves online and get new clients, and they're constantly trying to get people in at least.
Yeah,
but
no. I need to stop you there just for 1 second. How do you know they're trying?
Well, I'm constantly giving them little tidbit ideas of what to do marketing-wise, or taking them, like we just had a big thing in town and we all went out with business cards and meet and greet at a big, like the NAPI Awards. It was an awards ceremony. So we're constantly going out and trying to make face and talk about the salon with people in the community.
And like, do you monitor how many new clients you get a week or a month?
No, that was one of the questions that I do not, and I think it's a matter of trying to figure out how to run the report on that.
Yeah, because to find out if they're doing their job or not is you need to figure out how many new clients you get a week and where do these new clients come from. Because if you have 11 staff, you have the capability of turning over $1 million with your eyes closed. And if you're not, and you only run at 300,000, you probably got 70% too many staff, or 70% of staff that aren't full.
Right.
You need to look at their ticket price on every single staff member you have. Do it every week for the next month, and you'll know exactly where you stand.
So what's the major issue with that? Is it just, like you said, like I understand the point of there's too many clients or not enough clients for the amount of staff.
Yeah.
But then there's hours that I have to have covered, so.
Yeah, cool. So what you need to figure out is if you need 11 staff, that's fine. You don't have enough clients for 11, so then you'll need to start putting your brain into gear, and you'll only be focused on either A, if they haven't got enough clients, we work on getting their average ticket price higher.
Right.
And secondly, you then start a marketing campaign to get more clients. That's how you're going to get to your $1 million pretty easy. So, because
that's why I've been trying to kind of step away from behind the chair so much and get out and do more of this, is the promoting the salon part and building that up, because I don't want to be busier myself.
No, of course not, because what's happening is, and in the world we live in, is that you end up getting busier and busier, and then you find out that you're taking 30-40% of the money, because you're probably going to do 2,500, 3,000 a week, and everyone else is struggling. So what you need to figure out is you need to concentrate on your key players and get them busy. You probably find they're busy as it is, so you might put their prices up. So if you need to make more money, you need more clients, or you need the clients that you've got to spend more, or the clients you've got to come back more often.
Right.
There's only 3 ways to make your salon busy. There's no other ways. We can sugarcoat everything you like, but there's none. You've either got to get each client you have at the moment to have more services in the salon. So that means that if you've only got 3 clients a day, you make sure them 3 clients all have treatments and colors and cuts. That means that your average ticket's now going to break the 100.
Right.
Now they're doing 300 a day, which is at least 1,500 a week, with no more clients coming through the door. Or you get that client to come back every 5 weeks or 6 weeks instead of 10 weeks. That means you literally will, if you couldn't get your clients in every 6 weeks and you know they're dragging it out to 10, it almost means you've got twice as many clients now without even finding one new client, because they're coming back more often.
Yeah.
But we're going to cover all this in our modules, because when we get to this section, we work out a marketing plan aiming at brand new clients. We work a marketing plan at getting your clients in the salon quicker so they don't drag it out. And then how to get each client to spend a tad more when they're in the salon. So There's lots of things that go on, and it all starts right down with your ethos and who you are, and then you get the staff, because you get staff that follow you, and they'll get the ethos that they want, and then we'll build in systems and the client journey, and once you master the journey, we can then tweak each member of the journey so they spend more. So it's not just a miracle, just charge them more money. It's not as easy as that, because otherwise we'd all do it. There's lots of things that are involved, but you have the massive capability of growth.
Like, I'm so overwhelmed. I know it's there.
The good thing is that if you rush this, it won't work. And you're on the program, and we're going to be covering everything anyway, stage by stage. So this time next year, you'll literally start your year off with a target for the whole salon, which you're going to create, each target for every staff member, and then you'll concentrate on work on that. And as an owner, your role is to get them new clients. Your role is to show them new products that the clients might buy. And it's your role to empower them and to excite them on new ways of doing balayage foils, so they upsell that to their clients. So it's not just like you got to do this. It's like you as an owner, this is what you have to do to be an owner. It's not just cutting hair and be the biggest earner in a salon. It's about empowering your staff to earn more money. The problem with your staff, only one staff member that I know of, she seems to want the money for nothing, which is people I speak to want it for nothing. So if they get it for nothing, they're going to want it again for nothing. So what we try and teach you is, okay, you want more money. How much money do you want? So let's just say that a staff member of yours comes to you and says, I want $2,000 a week. Let's just say random.
So this actually happened last week. She came to me, told me she applied at one of the walk-in and out men's haircut shops here in the U.S., where you only do men's cuts, because she wanted a guaranteed paycheck. Then she realized that as soon as they said they'd give her an interview, that she didn't want to leave our salon because she would miss us and the culture too much. So she didn't go to the interview and decided to ask me to have a chat. And she said, I need to take home $600 a week. So I walked through different scenarios of how she needs to dress and perform and act, and how she needs to consult her clients so that her clients believe in her, and how pre-books, and like I went through so many things with her, but that just happened. Yeah.
So what happens is this particular person needs $600 a week. That's what they want. It's your job as an owner is to show them physically how they can make that money. So what you needed to have explained to her is, this is where your facts come in, and that's why you should love numbers, is that you'll turn around to this person and say, this is your average ticket, which is $30, $40. That's what you charge per client, and you're only doing 3 a day. So this is how much you make to me, and you get 50%. So if you want 600, you've either got to do an extra 3 clients a week, or you've got to upsell them by X amount of dollars to get that amount. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So as a manager, it's your role when this lady, for example, could be great for you. She wants $600 a week. Are you saying she needs to take $1,200 in the salon?
Yes.
Yeah, cool. So $1,200 is it's acceptable. She works she's a full-timer?
She's a full-timer with tons of experience and was a manager at my original location until she had some issues of feeling like she was burned out because she was there by herself as the senior, and she felt like she would rather take a step down and be around some other senior stylist and refresh herself in her career. So I moved her to the spa location.
Okay, cool. So literally, her problem is she doesn't have enough clients.
Right.
That's the thing I can see. So you need to have shown her how she can earn more money. So your job is to, and the good thing is she's let you know what she needs. So your job is $1,200. You need to find out what her average ticket is and what the salon's average ticket is. So see how far they are apart.
Yeah, but because she's an excellent stylist, there's, I mean, aside from the fact that she doesn't care to cut kids' hair because kids make her nervous, there's nothing she can't handle. So I mean, I've gave her as much as like I know her weakness as a stylist is doing updos, and we're about to get into bridal season, so I had her practicing updos on another stylist and taking pictures and putting it all over her Instagram, and so I
Yeah,
mean, I was trying to give her some ideas.
yeah, but as an owner, it's your job. Like she's all she's seen is ifs and ands, and she can't see the clarity of it all. So your job is to show her the clarity. You need
The
to,
black and white, the numbers.
yeah. So she needs to know, like she needs 600 a week. That's what she wants. Now, she wants it because she needs it. She's not just dreaming it up. It doesn't sound like she's greedy. It sounds like she needs it.
Mm-hmm.
Your job is to show her how she can do that. So if that means that she needs to do a $20 upsell per client, or for one in every two clients, she needs to earn the $600. You can't just give it on a platter. It's all got to come from that pot. Like no matter what, you only have a pot of 300,000. That's it. There's nothing more in there, And the more you give away, the less is left for you. So what you need to do is for her to grow that pot bigger, and then you can share the wealth more. And that's just the way it seems to be. And as we go along, we will show you and empower you how to do this, because it's pretty easy to do.
I think what it is that we get so stuck in, like you said, I've only worked in small town U.S. salons, so there's such a big world and so many different ways of how you pay your staff and how you run systems that it's like I've been trying to take everybody's little tidbits of pieces in their systems, and then it's like, well, that's not working for me. Like Summit didn't work for me. I love that there's a system in place, but it's not the right system for me. So
yeah, so I don't like strategy is very good in America. They say it's really good, and there's other ones out there. I don't believe in setting systems up and say this is how it is. For me, every single salon has their own system. And for me, if I have a staff member that wants more money, I sit down with them, and this is my system. So it's the only system there is. I sit down to them, find out exactly how much they want, and I will find out how we can physically make them that sort of money. If your staff member was asking for $3,000 a week, you physically, when you work it out, that you'd be on such a loser, it wouldn't be able to happen. This particular one, we know that they should be doing $2,000 a week. She's only doing $1,200 a week. She has the capability to grow. Your job as a manager is to show them how to grow. And that's pretty easy. You can, like I said, there's only 3 ways to grow. Get her clients back sooner. So look at her rebooks. What her rebooks are, and if you can figure out how long each client goes between appointments, can she pull them in? Which means she'll have more clients per day that way. Very, very easy to do. And the same way is if she wants to upsell them. She doesn't have to put her prices up. She just has to upsell them. How many cut and blow dries does she do a week compared to colours? What percentage is colours? Because I think across the world, you should be 48% colour. That's almost half your clientele should be a colour client.
Mm-hmm.
What you'll figure out by looking at her figures is is she lazy? Is she coming up to work, doing what's in front of her, and expects to get more money? If she wants it, you need to show her how, and it's her job to make it, not yours.
Right.
But we will cover all this in great detail as we go through the modules. We'll cover how to set all the targets out, and then like I know you guys, you do anything from 50 to 60%. Is that right?
With mine, it is everybody in the salon is at 48%, except for the one manager at 60.
Yeah, okay. But you know what, Tara? Like, if I came to work for you, like, I believe I'm a pretty good hairdresser, right? And I do. I think I can build a clientele pretty fast. I always have done wherever I've worked. Not because I'm an award-winning hairdresser. Just the fact is that I can build a clientele pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
But if I knew someone in that salon was on 60%, I'd want 60%.
Right.
So your wage to me is 48 to 60.
Yeah.
No matter what, it's 48 to 60, because one day you're going to get someone come in and go, hey, you know what? I want 55.
Yeah, it sucks too.
So somewhere along the line, you need to draw certain lines, and that's your guideline. And that's why we say certain systems don't fit, because everyone is different. But if you move the goalposts, you move the goalposts for everybody, not just one person, The goalpost has been moved for everybody. Because it's hard to
And
come back.
I tried to tell her that too, and then I, out of laziness, went with the 60 because I was like, well, I can pay you the 48, and then the hours you're managing, I can pay you by the hour for that. And then I was like, then we're keeping up with hours, and it's like, were you really managing that hour, or were you really working? So I said, across the board, I need you a minimum 3 hours a day to not take clients and to work with the staff, and I'll pay you 60% across the board. It's high commission, but it'll make up for what it would have been per hour if I just paid you by hour. So I did it.
That's all right. Cool. Everyone's different, and we all have different journeys, and we all have different stories. I've made huge mistakes in my life, and some mistakes that I've learned a lot, and some mistakes I still do now. But that's okay, because we're human beings, and that's what we live. But in general, you've got to remember, whatever you do to one, you do to them all. And I think we said that on the morning meeting as well. Because you've got to remember that you've got 11 staff members, and somewhere along the line, they now know that if they squeeze you hard enough, you're going to squeal.
Yeah.
Because they know you, because you've told the world. I know it. I'm in Australia and I know it.
Mm-hmm.
So whatever you do, regardless...
It's a said thing. It's a known fact that if you just go to Tara, she'll make the problem go away.
Yeah. Anyway,
you just talk to her.
It's a situation that happens. I learned 10 years ago with my other salon. I learned many things. That the main problem with my salon was me.
Yeah, I admit it. Like I'm with you right now because I know I am my own problem.
Yeah, for sure. I am my own problem. And when I set up a system in my salon of who I employed, when I employ them, and I stick with my guns. And sometimes, like for example, I think it was only 3 months ago, I went to a staff member and I told her she was sacked. And it was the hardest thing. I actually didn't sleep for 2 days. I cried when I told her because I really cared for her and she was great. But I had to let her go. It's the only time ever I've let a staff member go that I've really liked.
Oh.
And I let her go because of one silly little thing, that her wage bill pushed me over my 35% wage bill. That's the only reason. So for the first time in 20 years, I had a stock bill come in and I was really struggling to pay it. Now, I could have done two things. I could have lowered my personal wage, which is what most salon owners do.
Mm-hmm.
Keep the girl on because she's nice and she's a friend. Or you have to do a job as a manager. Now, I wasn't prepared to let my wage go. So I had to call her into the office and she was in shock and she had to go. And sometimes you have to do these hard things, I'm afraid. They're not the easiest thing in the world to do. But otherwise, you're just paying your wage out to other people. You've got to draw a line. And for me, I drew that line and I decided that I will stick my wage bill at 35% and I will not go above that because it starts coming out of my pocket, which then comes out of my wife's pocket and my kids' pockets and everything else. So I just drew that line, and I had to wonder, and that particular day was horrible for me. And but that's okay. I've moved on. I don't really sleep over it anymore. I get paid my money to make decisions like that. And you are now the leader of TMAX, and you need to be a leader. And if that means you need to make some strong decisions, you need to make them and live with them, even if they're wrong.
Yeah. And the day that I get my wage bill under 35%, I'm flying to Australia to hug you.
But you know what? It was cheaper in the UK. Because don't forget, we pay our girls all girls are on wage, like I said before. We pay our girls about $770 a week. We pay them a loading when they take a holiday. We pay them a 10%. We pay them a 15% loading when they take a holiday. So when they go on holiday, we pay 50% loading. We have to pay a 10% loading for their pension, their 401. We have to pay that. And they're allowed, every public and holidays, they're allowed, I think, 29 days holiday a year. And we still make money on that. So, like, I actually believe, and I know you're not going to do this because I don't expect you to, because I haven't changed the world yet, but I'm going to change the world, is I believe that an American salon, and you might be my first, you never know, is that you should pay them a big fat wage and free medical. I think you should pay that to your staff.
Yeah. I'm actually like in the market ourselves because of my husband, quitting his job to join us. We were mainly relying on his insurance for that job. So I'm in the market to try to get company insurance in for my staff.
Yeah.
And I know it won't be in the bills for me to be able to afford it right on. It'll have to be something that I just take out of their check that they'll have to pay for themselves. But I would love to be able to do that.
Yeah. I think if you could turn around and make them either on a wage, so they all earn a good wage guaranteed each week, and get free medical, you're more chance you're going to get a job, people taking wage, or secondly, only give them like 45% and free medical. It's not a bad thing to do. So I think eventually you're going to have to try and re-employ people by giving them a better package, more so than trying to give a bigger percentage away. You need to start getting clever, the Americans do with their salon. Anyway, I can talk for hours, and I've got to create a website this afternoon sometime, and I'm sure you guys got to go to bed.
I'm sure that my baby's ready to get in bed. It's about 10 o'clock here.
Cool. So I think Lisa's still on, and she's been writing to me. So, yeah, hi, Lisa, we're going to talk again. And don't forget, you can message me anytime you like. You can message us on with all the coaches or just me personally. Any questions you have. All modules will be released tomorrow. Cool. No worries. Good night, Lisa. And, what we'll try and do is do the talk again. But I'm going to try and figure out whether I want to spend more time chatting like this in the meet, because I quite like dissecting people's problems because the whole world has different problems. But we'll see how we go.
Yeah.
So Tara, keep well. Lisa, keep well. And we'll talk again soon.
All right. Thank you.
Okay. Bye now.
Bye-bye.